Okay, hi everyone. My name is Erin. I'm a student recruiter here at the U of A, which means I go to different high schools in the area and just give people information about the U of A and admissions processes and everything like that. I'm a junior. I'm a pre-law major with a minor in history. I want to go to law school after this. I'm also a member of the Honors College. I've been in some groups such as the Wildcats Event Board, Freshman Honorary, and other organizations. So that's me.
Hi everyone, my name is Alejandra. I'm also a student recruiter here at the University of Arizona. I am a senior, so I'll be graduating in May, this upcoming May, so yay that. I am a double major in finance, business finance, and Spanish literature. I just forgot my major. And Spanish literature, and I also have a minor in Portuguese. I am also a member of the Honors College, and I'm also in an organization here on campus that is called National Society for Collegiate Scholars. I am the current PACE chair for that, so what that means is I go out to different institutions, whether it be elementary schools, high schools, middle schools, anything like that, and promote, achievement in higher education. I am also, what am I also? Oh, I studied abroad twice during my time here at the University of Arizona. My first study abroad program was in Spain, and I spent 2 months there during the summer. And I recently, this past summer, I went to Brazil and I completed my Portuguese minor over there. So that's pretty much me.
Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm an Honors College Ambassador. I'm a sophomore, originally from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm studying molecular and cellular biology and Spanish with a minor in public health. On campus, outside of Honors College Ambassadors, I'm involved with Alpha Epsilon Delta, which is the pre-Alpha honorary on campus. So we do a lot of health-related events and community outreach. I also do United Nations. So just working on like international diplomacy and things like that. This summer, I studied abroad in China and India. In China, we focused on sustainability in urban and rural contexts. And in India, I worked with a non-governmental organization on HIV and AIDS education.
I'm Claire. I'm also a senior. I'm from Tucson, a physiology major. Outside of HCA, I'm involved in Alpha Epsilon Delta as well. And I'm also a Physiology Honors Academy advisor. So,
All right. Hi, I'm Jeannie. I'm an Honors College Ambassador. I'm originally from Tucson, and I'm a junior in chemical engineering with minors in art history and environmental and water resource economics. I'm involved in a lot of different clubs on campus, so in addition to Honors College Ambassadors, I'm also in Engineering Ambassadors, Tau Beta Pi, which is the Engineering Honor Society, Omega Chi Epsilon, which is the Chemical Engineering Honor Society, American Institute of Chemical Engineers, which is a professional society for chemical engineers, and I'm also the treasurer for Society of Women Engineers. I'm also really involved with research on campus, so I've been involved in research as a volunteer for credit. Last year I was part of the NASA Space Grant Internship Program, and I've also done National Science Foundation funded research over the summer, a couple summers ago. And currently I'm working in a research lab where we're looking at ways that we can actually clean water using microbes, which is pretty cool. So I've been really involved with that during my time here at U of A. And I've also done internships over the summer for companies. So this past summer I was working as an environmental engineering intern outside of San Francisco. So I've definitely had experience working with career services to help get some professional experience. So that's me. We'd love to hear your questions now.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to type them in and ask us so that we can be answering questions you actually want answered and need answered. If not, then I guess we'll just kind of start talking about our experiences at the U of A and different things like that and our different majors and interests, I guess. So we could talk about housing, I guess, dorm life. Okay. So a big part of freshman year, obviously, is dorm life and whether you're going to live on campus. if you're going to live on campus, what's the best dorm and everything like that. I lived on campus my freshman year. I lived in a hall called Coronado, which is a brand new hall that had all new furniture and everything like that. It was super nice. It's also, I think, one of the largest dorms on campus. But it was a wonderful experience. My roommate and I are still friends today. And it's just being able to be on campus and just walk out the door and go to classes or go to club meetings and everything like that is a really big part of freshman year. And so I would really encourage that. And if you have any questions about the process or anything, feel free to ask us about it.
I lived my freshman year, so I'm native to Tucson and my family's here, so I lived at home. My freshman year, I've never lived at the dorms, but after my freshman year, I lived at a house with a roommate who also attended the University of Arizona, and I did that for 2 years. So I know about off-campus housing a little bit. It's nice sometimes, but we do recommend that the majority of the freshmen do on-campus housing because I guess it allows, I wish I would have done it because I know that a lot of people had a lot of experiences getting to know people and getting to know your university, and I kind of felt like I missed out on that. So, you know, you have to find different ways to participate in your university, to get to know people, to different activities and stuff like that, and it's a little bit harder when you're living off campus at the beginning.
I lived in honors. I lived in Arbor de la Vida.
Okay.
I actually lived there the first year it was open, so that was pretty awesome. I've also lived off campus. The roommate I lived with in the dorms is the roommate I've had for now, I think, 3 years. So it's worked out really nicely. I definitely liked living in the dorms freshman year because it allowed me to meet a lot of new people. And it also kind of, all the big events that happen on campus, you know, when there's a game and stuff, it's even more fun when you live on campus because you're part of that action. And so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so like Claire said, one of the dorms that we have available for honors students is Arbor de la Vida, and we also have a second residence hall for honors students, which is Yuma Hall. So they're two really great options that are both very different. Arbor is very big, very new. As Claire said, she was the first group of residents to live in there, so it's a brand new building, which is really cool. And then there's Yuma, which is in the more historic part of campus. It's really centrally located. It's a lot smaller, so you pretty much know everyone inside the dorm. But I think I would say in general, the honors halls are really great because you're amongst a community of people who are also put definitely a focus on their academics and value that, but they're also just a really interesting group of people to live in. There's all sorts of interests represented, and it's, I would say, in my experience, I lived in Arbor de la Vida. It was really great just being in that community because I could learn not only so much in my classes, but also just from the people I was living with. So it's definitely a really dynamic environment. So I would definitely recommend looking into both of the honors halls if you're interested.
Okay, and then we have a question. So it's a long question, so bear with us. Let's see. Oh, okay. My name is Mason. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm from upstate New York. I was initially going to attend UCLA and major in pre-law and minor in history, like the first girl said. Arizona is where my heart is, and I've looked at both U of A and ASU. A lot of people are pushing towards ASU, but U of A is much better academically. Why do you think I should really choose university? Okay. First of all, there's this new law program. I'm really excited about this. I just found out myself. It's brand new. Sorry. And I keep like inching over because everyone can only see half of my face, and then, but so it's a brand new program actually. U of A was just written about in some magazine. I don't exactly remember which one. My mom sent me like a picture of it, so I have it on my phone. But talking about how U of A is the very first college in the country to have a bachelor's in law. So what I'm doing right now is I said pre-law because it was easier to explain, but I'm technically not. I'm not political science, and I'm technically not pre-law. I'm getting a bachelor's in law, which basically means that my upper division credits, once I get gen eds and lower division credits out of the way, is are classes that I take at the law school, because the program works with the U of A Law School. I would take classes at the law school by law professors. And so, like I said, this is a brand new program. It just started this year. And as a junior, I was really excited to be able to make the cut to still, get in and be able to finish in 4 years. And it's a brand new program, only one in the country at this point. And also a huge, huge thing that I just found out about that comes with this new program is we have what's called a new 3+3 program, which basically means that towards the end of your junior year, if you have a 3.3 GPA and you have finished all of your gen eds and your minor requirements, you can apply to the law school, and then your senior year doubles as your freshman year at the law school. So while you're a senior, you're taking all law classes at the law school, and those credits transfer over, and at the end of that year, you are not only done with a year of law school, then you graduate and you have that bachelor's degree. And so that's an amazing program. I'm also planning on applying for that program towards the end of my junior year. And basically it enables you to graduate from law school a whole year earlier than everyone else who technically would be in your class. Not only does that save you a ton of money, but it saves you a ton of time. It enables you to get out into the world and the real work environment quicker than anyone else. And so I'm like in love with this new law program, so I'm sorry if I'm going on and on about it. Like I said, this is kind of new to me too, because it's new to the university, and so I'm so excited that opportunity is here and I can do that. As far as the history department goes, I've had amazing experience with the history department. And I think that it's just a great department. It's very interesting. It has tons of opportunities. A lot of my professors that I even had, during freshman and sophomore year classes, I tried to stay in touch with because they're just such extremely intellectual, interesting people who I know in future years can help me with either letters of recommendation or thesis work and anything like that. So I know that was a really long answer, but I'm really excited about this program. So if you have any more questions about any of it, feel free to ask. But I definitely think that has opportunities that ASU doesn't even have created yet. So.
Also, I think, not on the topic of academics, but I personally visited ASU as well. And I like U of A because we have one campus, so everything that we do as a campus is very centralized. It's very easy to feel a part of it. One thing that I felt at ASU with all these different campuses is that you never there wasn't as much of a community base and a unity because there's nowhere where you all can go. Whereas at U of A, when you're on campus, you are where everyone else is. And it's fun. There's so many cool things. I personally love being a part of Zona Zoo. It's the student section at all of our games, and it's so much fun. The traditions and the experiences you have are well worth it. So it's not only a great school because of academics, but it's also just a lot of other fun community-based things.
And it was just, I think it was just by, ESPN, just declared us the loudest and best college, best spirited, there you go, college student section in the whole Pac-12, which is a huge accomplishment. So that's another reason that everyone comes out, and it's just so much school spirit through the whole day of game day. From the moment people wake up till they go to sleep on game day, it's all about U of A, and it's all about the environment, and it's really cool to be a part of. You can literally, it's something that you just feel when you're here, so it's really cool. I don't know if people who have more science majors want to talk about some of that too, because I know that a big portion are people who are interested in the sciences. So I know that was you. I don't know who else.
Yeah.
All of you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to talk about that.
So we're both pre-health. I'm actually currently applying to medical schools, and that's going really well. It's really helping that I'm part of the Honors College. I'm doing the honors thesis because that gives me another thing to say that I did in my undergraduate. Most of the science programs here are really nice. They're very helpful. Is there any particular experience? I really like my honors classes because it's a little bit different than my science based. There's another question. But yeah, basically I like my physiology department. It's more small in comparison to the other ones. I know that engineering's pretty big. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question. Okay, Mason, I'm sorry I have a ton of questions. Don't worry about it. That's
You're good, thank you.
yeah. We don't want to just keep rambling. So this is great. So don't apologize for taking forever. I want to hear about everything. I'm flying out in 2 weeks for my visit. Where should I be sure to check out? Does anyone have specific places that they want to come to mind? Or I would definitely say on campus, you should check out, obviously, the places on campus that you're going to be around the most when you're a freshman living on, or if you decide to live on campus. So obviously, I would check out, the huge Union, the bookstore. Get familiar with the bookstore, not just the upstairs where all the cool stuff is, like the makeup counter and the shirts and everything like that. I got really familiar with that freshman year. But also the downstairs area, which is where we have all of our textbooks. It's where we have an electronic section that you can buy, ink and stuff for your printers and, get tech support if something happens to your computer. That's really important, and it's also really great to get to know before you come to move into campus, because the first 2 weeks of school, usually it's hectic and it's crazy. Because all 4 years worth of students are trying to get textbooks and trying to get supplies and everything, and it can be really confusing. So if you kind of familiarize yourself with that a little bit, and how the textbooks are set up and everything like that, it's really helpful. Where else would you say? I would also say, like,
I don't know, if there's a game that weekend, try to go to a game, because that's fun to get that experience.
Yeah, and then I think there's just like a lot of like hidden places on campus that are some of my favorite things. So kind of depending on what you're interested in. If you're interested in art type stuff, there's some really great stuff. Like the U of A Art Museum is really awesome. There's the Arizona State Museum, which is also really great. That's on campus, which is really cool. The Center for Creative Photography, the Poetry Center. So if any of those kind of spike your interest, I would say make sure to Google it and check it out while you're here, because they're really great. I think that's one of the cool things about U of A is we have a lot of different stuff, because we have everything from the Poetry Center to a Science Center complete with a brand new planetarium, which is really cool. So I'm nerdy, so I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say make sure you do the campus tour and everything. They'll show you a lot of the hot spots around campus. And then off campus, in the general vicinity of the U of A, there's a lot of cool spots. So definitely University Boulevard is always super popular. There's lots of restaurants, and it's always full of students. There's also 4th Avenue, which is a lot of fun. It's kind of a lot of funky little shops and restaurants. It has its own character for sure. And then downtown Tucson is actually getting bigger and bigger. So there's a lot of great restaurants down there. My personal favorite is the ice cream at the Hub. Check it out. You won't regret it. Yeah, and we even have our new streetcar line that you could take for a spin that goes through campus up into downtown. So you definitely, if you hopped on there, you get a good feel for Tucson.
And about the Poetry Center, I think it is really one of campus's best hidden gems, whether you're interested in that kind of thing or not. I took a gen ed class there, an honors gen ed class there, which is a great opportunity, sophomore year, and I just fell in love. It's basically a miniature library. Obviously, it specializes in poetry, but it's definitely not as crowded as if you try to go to the regular library, and everything is basically brand new. There's a meditation garden in the back with a miniature waterfall and everything. So that's really cool, and I would encourage you to check that out as well, because it's on the edge of campus, and so I feel like I didn't know about it until I had a class there, and I don't think many people get a chance to see it, and it should be.
So I was just into hiking. So Tucson's well known for all its hiking spots. So there's Sabino Canyon, which is on the east side of Tucson. So if you're interested in that, there's so many different fun hikes. Also, I'm actually from Oro Valley, which is a little bit more north Tucson, and Romero Pools and all kinds of things at Catalina State Park is also good. So if that's something that you're interested in, Tucson is a great place to be for that.
Yeah, another great place if you like the outdoors is Mount Lemmon. So it's not too far away from Tucson, probably an hour drive to get to the top. And it's awesome because it's usually at least 10 degrees cooler than it is in Tucson. So that's another really fun place to check out. There's kind of little shops up at the top in Summer Haven, including the Cookie Cabin, which is a favorite of everyone's because who doesn't love cookies? I keep talking a lot about dessert. And then I'm going to throw in another little nerdy plug, is actually Biosphere 2. So that's up, it's kind of north of Tucson, so it's a little bit of a drive, but it's this basically big glass dome thing where they've recreated all these different biospheres, and it was this experiment where they put people in there in, I think it was the late 80s, and they tried to live kind of this self-sustaining enclosed lifestyle. So it's really interesting. I would check out that Wikipedia page for sure. But it's really cool because it's actually, the U of A actually owns Biosphere 2. So they are now, rather than, like throwing people in there to live, they're doing a lot of different research at Biosphere, which is really cool. I would definitely check it out if that's your thing. So I know the U of A is really, really strong in research, and that's one of their really spectacular research facilities that's definitely one of a kind.
Yeah, and I would also say, this may kind of sound like a no-brainer, since you know that you want to major in pre-law and minor in history, go online on the U of A website and find out who your pre-law advisor is, and set up an appointment to try and meet with them. And they can obviously, they're especially knowledgeable about, that major and what you want to do. And so, and what classes you should be taking, obviously, like what advantages the U of A has. She'll give you way more information about the programs I was talking about earlier with the new pre-law, the new law bachelor's and the new 3+3 program and things like that. So I would definitely make an appointment or at least contact her so you can meet up with her and she can help you out, because I know it can be really confusing and daunting going in with all the different possibilities of classes and things like that. So that's something that you should really try and do. But wait, there's another question. Obviously, I'm super interested in the academic aspect of everything. I think the reason I'm drawn towards U of A more than ASU is because it's balanced academically and nightlife-wise. I'm not sure how much you can say about the party scene on here, but how are the nights and weekends? Anybody want to go first?
Basically, you can find what you want to find. There's a lot of fun things to do in the nightlife. I'm actually 21 now, so downtown and 4th Ave is really, really fun. Also University, but that's later on. But it's definitely, you can find a party scene if that's what you're looking for as well.
Mm-hmm.
Campus is really close to downtown, so I mean it's not that far to go, and there's a bunch of nice restaurants that turn into nightclubs at night. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, it's pretty fun. You'll see a lot of U of A students over there as well. I mean, life is a balance. We're human. We're all human. We all understand that we need a balance in life, and sometimes we're all in the honors college, so we're all applied to our academics, but I can certainly vouch that most of us go out as well. So
yeah. Tucson's also set up kind of nicely downtown because usually when we go out, we'll go to 4th Avenue and then you can walk under the bridge and you're downtown. Yeah. And so it's really nice because basically you don't have to spend as much time on transportation, and that's a fun thing. And definitely almost everyone down there is U of A students, and so that's also fun to meet new people.
And I think what's also nice is the different ranges of types of nightlife there are around here. Everyone has their own kind of opinion of what nightlife is most appealing to them. So obviously, if you're a freshman coming in or a sophomore, the Greek system has a lot of opportunities if you want to go out, want to dance, all kinds of stuff, with frats and stuff, throwing parties and things like that, which obviously I'm not going to go too much into that, but that's an option if that's what you would choose. But then there's also obviously, other options. Like if you go down on, like they were saying, like 4th is a really cool place, and they have really, really cute individually owned restaurants that aren't part of like the big chains that you usually see. And things like that, and they always have, mostly on the weekend nights, like street performers and stuff like that. I went there once, and there were these girls who were like fire dancing with just on the street with like sticks that had fire on both ends, and we're just like giving performances and stuff like that. So that's a different type of nightlife, and then obviously once you're 21, there's a really cool bar scene with all types of different bars and stuff like that for that type of nightlife. So there's there's not just one type of nightlife, and that's what's nice. There's a whole range of different things for whatever you're interested in.
And then throughout the year, the U of A will also host several activities that you could do for nightlife. Like I know coming up soon, there's going to be a concert at the mall. So I think so. I think right. I don't know who's performing though. I haven't really.
Tyler Ward and Aloe Black.
Yeah, and it's free, and all students are able to go. So that's pretty cool.
And then there's no more questions right now, so I guess we can just talk about. Does anyone who studied abroad kind of want to talk about that program? Because I know that's kind of a huge thing.
Oh, well, there's a lot of study abroad opportunities that you guys that are available to each and every student. Every department has different opportunities to study abroad for certain things. Like certain majors have certain places where they go. I know that the engineering college works with a couple of places like.
There's a few programs I know for engineering majors where you can actually go to Germany for the summer and do research, which is really cool. So I've had friends do that. They love it. But there's definitely, like she was saying, no matter what your major is, if you want to go abroad, there's definitely a lot of options for what you can do. So I'm sure they can share more.
Well, I know Eller has a couple, because as a finance major, Eller does have a couple of programs where they do internships in Barcelona, Tokyo, and London. So you can do some of those as well. And then Eller does have what is called the global cohort. So your first semester, Eller, you'd be doing it abroad, and it's during the summer. And this summer they went to Argentina. And then for my other major, the humanities department, Spanish and Portuguese, they have study abroad programs available in Chile, Costa Rica, Spain, and Brazil. So those are a few different options that they're available for whoever wants them.
Okay, and we have another question. Okay. From New York, I'm coming to the West in a huge part for the weather. I'm so used to going to school during near negative weather. I've only been to Tempe, so like I said, I'll be going to my visit in a couple of weeks. What should I be expecting heat-wise during my visit?
Well, you're lucky because you're coming when it's kind of cooling down. So
you're probably, I mean, it's projected to be like 80 degrees, so for us, that's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's a little bit different, I'm assuming, for you from New York, but one thing that we always say is it's a dry heat. Lately, we've been a little humid, so hopefully it'll be dry by the time you get here, so it won't be as bad. And I know you guys have a lot of humidity in New York.
No matter what, we're always 10 degrees at least cooler than Tempe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another benefit.
Yeah.
And when you get up to those like really hot temperatures, like 100, 105 and stuff like that, 10 degrees makes a big difference. Like it makes a huge difference. But yeah, when you come, I mean, like we said, it's cooling down for us, but I assume for you it's going to be a bit warm. So I would pack accordingly. Obviously, it never hurts to bring layers in case, you know, your cold jackets and stuff, like, you know what I mean, like sweaters or something. But, like, for the most part, like shorts, T-shirts kind of weather and things like that.
Also, if you decide to do any, like, hiking or those kind of tourist things, one thing that's kind of different is that since it's so hot here, you really have to have water all the time. Stay hydrated. It's way too easily here to get dehydrated, especially when you're not used to the heat. I would pack shorts. I wear shorts 24/7 during summer. It's just too hot for anything else.
Okay. So in the beginning of the fall semester, how is the heat going to class and sitting in classes, etc.?
I mean, like, I don't know. I've been here for
August.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little. It's hot and it's a little humid because we have what you'll actually learn to love, at least I love, is monsoon season because there's like these crazy storms and it's like quick and fast and it cools down a little bit. But it makes it a little humid out. But it's not unbearable. A lot of the buildings have really good AC. So if you just, you know, obviously like it's not a good time to like decide to go study outside for a while because it's kind of hot. But I don't think it's horrible. What do you guys think?
More, sorry.
Yeah. I think a lot of people worry that it's just going to be so hot in Arizona and they're just going to melt into a puddle on the sidewalk. But while it's definitely warm, I personally love the weather here. I mean, granted, I grew up in Arizona, but I think it's great. And I mean, while it definitely is a little warm those first few weeks of school, walking to class, you know, everyone's going through it, so you're not the only one showing up to class a little sweaty. It's a unique bonding experience. So I definitely love it, and then especially when it comes to the winter and you don't have to wear 17 layers to go outside, it's pretty great. And you can still go outside and do outdoor activities, because I know I love going hiking and everything, and you can definitely, the winter is a great time to do that here. So while we do have to trade it in for a couple weeks of some pretty intense heat, I will definitely take our climate over the cold and snow for months in the winter.
Definitely. I have family in like Western New York, and we visit them every summer, and I would totally choose the hottest day in Phoenix over like the nicest day in Buffalo, just because of the humidity. It's like so much better in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait. Sorry. One second. Here we go. Coming in as a freshman and use honest opinions. Which hall should I push for when it comes to a living situation?
It depends on what you like. For the honor storms, one thing that we always say is that our Lolita is really nice and it's new and it's kind of a big atmosphere. So if you like to be around a bunch of people, it's a great place to be. But some people like more of that community-based living, and Yuma's even easier to get that because, as Jean had said, that it was a very like small knit kind of community, so it's very easy to know everybody. So it kind of depends on what you like with that. I wouldn't know about the non-honors much.
Yeah, I would definitely say the two dorms that are probably they're the newest, right? I still think Likens and Arbel. Yeah, Likens and Arbel are still our two newest dorms, and they're extremely nice. If you're doing honors, like they said, the Arbel definitely has the huge study rooms and all of the technology for if like you want to hook your laptop up to a projector to work on group projects and things like that. I mean, I know every hall has study groups and things like that, but like they said, it just kind of depends on what atmosphere you like. You know, Coronado was a huge dorm. Like I said, I think it's the biggest on campus. It's 9 floors, and I was on the 9th. So move-in day was a little bit crazy when you have like lines to the elevators that are like going out the doors. But I mean, you get through it, and it's not a huge deal, and you're moved in, and that's a really nice dorm. Like I said, when I moved in, which is about 2.5 years ago, I guess now, everything was brand new furniture, brand new carpets. There's also something to think about is the bathroom situation. I know at Coronado I had Jack and Jill bathrooms, which meant that I shared my bathroom with my roommate and then 2 other girls. But I also lived on a co-ed floor, and then obviously you have the what do they call those?
Community-based bathroom. So like Arbel is you share unless you have a special like room that has your own bathroom, you have to share a community-based bathroom. But usually it's like there's one for depending on what some halls are all girls or all guys, but some of them are co-ed. Sorry, I'm touching her. But there's like a girls' bathroom and a guys' bathroom, and it's not too bad. It wasn't impossible. Also, location also might decide where you want to like live. Arbel was really nice, and so was Coronado, but that's kind of not as close to the main campus. So some people don't like that as much. I personally loved PSU, which is the student union close to that area, and I didn't really mind the walk. But some people don't necessarily like that. So like places like Highland or like living in Yuma or Maricopa or something like that might be better because that's more main campus.
I would definitely recommend, you probably already have since you seem like you're pretty well researched, but just to everyone, I would really recommend looking at the Residence Life website. They have a lot of great descriptions of all the different dorms. I think they even have some videos and stuff where you can, where they talk to residents of the different halls and whatnot. So definitely do your research because they're all very different and they all have kind of their own personality and their own perks. So definitely do your research, and if you come on campus, usually the campus tour will stop through one of the halls so you can get a feel for what an actual college residence hall looks like.
Yeah. And then another question is, are freshmen allowed to bring their cars?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a car freshman year. You used to pay for a permit because you have to park it on campus, but there's all kinds of different permits. You can have a garage permit, which means that you can park it overnight, all different things. So I had the Tyndall garage, which is close to Arbel. But there's a lot of different garages and there's a lot of different permit places to grab a spot, so it's totally fine.
That being said, though, you definitely don't need a car as a freshman. So as a freshman, I did not have a car on campus. As we were kind of saying before, the great thing about Tucson is there's a lot of stuff within walking distance of campus. A lot of people ride their bikes around campus and around Tucson. And then there's also the new streetcar, like I was saying, that goes through campus, down 4th Avenue to downtown. So there's definitely a lot of different options. It's kind of up to you which option you want to take. Oh, yes, the Caltran. The Caltran is also really great. It's a shuttle system that goes around the U of A campus, and it's free, and they have a bunch of different routes. So I know personally for me, it was really great. I used it all the time freshman year because there was a stop right by my dorm. So I would hop on there and then ride it out to my research lab, which was near the hospital, which was kind of far away from my dorm. But it was really nice because I could just hop on the nice air-conditioned Caltran rather than walking all the way there. So there's definitely, as I said, a lot of different options for getting around campus and around Tucson.
There's also
And then-
another, what's one you can call?
Safe Ride.
The U of
Safe
A
Ride, that's
also
what I
offers a free service. It's called Safe Ride, and that one usually people use the most at night. Whenever, let's say, you're leaving the library really late and you park your car somewhere far, or your dorm is a certain distance from the library, and you want somebody to drive you there. We have what is called Safe Ride, so you call, and then they'll give you an estimated pickup time. They'll pick you up and they'll take you to your location where you want to go, and it's for free. So. Pretty cool.
Okay. I feel like I'm the only one asking questions, so I'm going to be greedy and take up all your time. Sorry. No, we appreciate the questions. We really do. Pretty big school. Campus is huge. How spaced out are some of your classes? I think it just depends. Obviously, you pick the classes that you have to take, because they're mandatory, or that you want to take to satisfy requirements, and you're in charge of setting up your own schedule. But what I can tell you is that we have so many options. If you're a person who knows that you like morning classes better, there's plenty of options, or night classes. Right now, I don't have school on Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays. I'm taking it like an online class, which is an option, and then a big option that I kind of like is night classes, and so they are like once a week, but they're like 2.5 hours. So I have a class on Wednesday night that's 2.5 hours, but it only meets once a week, and so there's a ton of different options depending on obviously your schedule, how many clubs you want to be in, if you need a job, things like that. It's definitely completely like workable around whatever factors you need to work it around.
Also with distance, if you're worried about that, that's where the Caltran really comes in handy because there's stops all throughout campus. So, if you have a class that's close to like the hospital, but you live down at Arbel, it's a lot easier to just grab the Caltran than to walk all through campus. And also, we have a really bike-friendly campus, and that also helps. There's a lot of people that bike, and we also, I think, are one of the very few schools that has like a bike valet service that you can basically register your bike, drop it off, and go off to class, and that saves a lot of time. People bike all over.
And I also think there's a lot of, obviously, if you have lots of time between two classes, there's a ton of options of things to do. Like we said, go to the Union, go to the library, go to University Ave, which is right there, which has shops and restaurants and things. 4th Ave that we were talking about earlier is not a very far walk, down the street. So there's plenty of like things to do if you have a weird like hour and a half gap or whatever between your classes. But another question: do you all live off of campus now?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do. I live in student apartments. So basically, it's called the Stone Avenue Standards. It's like less than 2 miles off of campus, and you have to be an enrolled student, not just at the U of A, but you could be enrolled at Pima Community College or online classes and stuff. But you have to prove that you're a student. So it's nice because it's a community of all students, a vast majority of which go to the U of A. And it has a shuttle service that has a schedule for the same times every day that you get that takes you to and from campus too. So if you don't want to walk or you don't want to bike or whatever, and that's really, really handy. I don't know if anybody else lives in different situations.
I actually live in an actual house. So we rent out a house. I live in St. Hughes, which is like literally maybe like a 5-minute walk from campus. So it's not, it's really nice. So renting a house is always an option. Just the earlier you start looking, the better, because they tend to get filled up, and you can get really good deals if you start earlier rather than later.
Yeah. One of the great things about Tucson is it's definitely like a college town. There's a lot of housing options, really close to the university, and it's also, compared to some cities, not a very high cost of living. So it's definitely really great for students, really great atmosphere. So there's definitely, well, I would really recommend living on campus freshman year. There's definitely a lot of options for when you're ready to move off campus when you're older.
Okay. And another question. Can you talk about Greek life? None of us here actually are in Greek life, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone has friends who are because it's a huge organization. It's a big part of campus and things like that. Do you have any like?
So usually if you, I think this is now starting to become true of the fraternities as well, but sororities, basically you can move in early for rush week in the dorms, and so that's usually when they do their like selections and stuff. So that's kind of nice because you don't have to deal with that when you're going to school, and that's really fun.
Yeah, and then obviously, yeah, that's a really nice thing because you get to miss the huge rush of when everyone moves in. They also do a lot of philanthropy events. I know that there are certain ones that are like a tradition. There are certain sororities that have, what is it, like pancake nights or one of the ones where the whole sorority gets together, and makes, a ton of pancakes, and you pay like $5 for all you can eat pancakes, and you and your friends go. Or like they have bake sales, like just, I know one sorority does like desserts and things like that instead of pancakes. So they do a lot of philanthropy and other things like that, a lot of volunteering. Would you recommend rushing? We can't really say either way. It's up to you and your personal decision, what you want to get out of your college experience, what you don't want, and everything like that. That's obviously it's a big time commitment and a big monetary commitment, so it has to be something you 100% want to do.
Definitely research though before. Do your research, look at the different ones that we have that they offer, look at what each of them do, what they stand for. Because there's a bunch of them that are mainstream, there's some that aren't. It just depends, everything else on campus, it all depends on what you want to do and what fits your qualities. So definitely if you're planning on rushing, research and come and visit the ones that you think fit your needs.
Also, I guess we're not rushing a sorority or anything, but our Alpha Epsilon Delta pre-health honorary is kind of like a fraternity, and so it's a nice thing because for me, I didn't know that necessarily sorority life was the best fit for me, but I definitely wanted that bond and that other area to like get to know people. And so that was a fun experience because I didn't do it as a freshman. I actually just did it last year. And so it's nice because you have that more flexibility, but you still have, we have bigs and littles and stuff. So we still follow kind of the Greek traditions without being fully Greek affiliated.
Yeah, I like AUV a lot. They have different honoraries for different areas of interest, but you can still definitely get that connection with people with similar interests without necessarily as much of a monetary commitment, and you still get a lot of opportunities for engagement, like community service and different forms of outreach.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely a lot of different ways to get involved in campus. I know some people feel like they have to get involved with Greek life because that's the only way they're going to have kind of a social circle, but I would say there's so many different options, and that's definitely true at the U of A. There's so many different clubs, everything from, these professional societies to there's, I think, multiple clubs devoted to Harry Potter.
Yes.
So there's definitely something there for everyone. I would say the most important thing is just definitely get involved in some way because that kind of building your community is really important. So, I'm involved in a lot of clubs, and that's something that's really important to me. So engineering ambassadors is a big part of my time here at the U of A. It's just a lot of people who, are also engineering majors. So, we help each other on homework and things like that. So definitely the biggest takeaway I would say is just for everyone, make sure you get involved in something your freshman year. So whether that's joining a club or maybe you really like music, there's different music groups on campus you can get involved in. There's so many different ways to get involved, but as long as you're getting involved in some way, that's what's really important.
Also, there's always club fairs, so attend the club fair. It's the best way to learn about all the different clubs that are on U of A campus.
Okay, and we have we have another question. As a student, do you need to buy tickets to the men's basketball games, or do you get in for free?
It's part of the pass.
Yeah.
So when you're a student, you buy a Zona Zoo pass. You don't have to, but it's that way you sit in the Zona Zoo. So there's different passes. So I think the only ones I know about is Blue Pass. Blue Pass is everything but men's basketball. I personally always go for the red pass because it includes men's basketball, and that's my favorite sport. So it depends on what you like, but there's definitely different price ranges and things that fit whatever your desires are to go to the games.
The most expensive though is
The Red Pass.
Red Pass, which is only like $150, and you get to go to all of the football games that are on campus and you want to go to, and you get to go to the basketball games, all of them as well. The only thing is, it is first come first serve on basketball games, so you do want to get there early and sign up early for that. So
An option for that too, for specifically for the basketball game is, what is that one called? That's $25. They're called like Wildcat.
Student Wildcat Club.
The Wildcat Club, which basically is an extra $25, I think it is. Yeah.
Yes.
And it gets you into the men's basketball games, and I think you can get it an hour earlier. And there's a specific Wildcat Club section that has more seats, because like we said, with basketball is huge, especially this last year. And it fills up so quickly. You know, I know people who stand in line like 2.5, 3 hours before the doors even open. So to have that extra Wildcat pass, which means basically that you can show up later, you know, closer towards when the game actually starts, and still get just as good of seats as someone who had to stand in line for like 2 hours. It's really nice, and it's completely worth it.
Also, with the Wildcat student club thing, you get to reserve tickets for the men's basketball, which is what you have to do for Zona Zoo, 24 hours earlier, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but last year when we were #1 in the country, I missed one game because I didn't have Wildcat Student Club, and we were playing ASU. It was a big game, and I was really sad. So it's all worth paying the $25.
And the cool thing about Zona Zoo is it gets you into all of the sporting events. So while the football games and the basketball games are definitely awesome, and I love going to them, there's also so many other cool sports. So I think last week I went to the women's volleyball game, which was awesome. They're so amazing, and you know, we just beat ASU this past Wednesday. So I think we're ranked like I think we were number 19, but I think we moved up, but in the country. So U of A definitely has a ton of cool sports, and it's really awesome to be able to go and support your fellow Wildcats. So the Zona Zoo is awesome. I would absolutely recommend getting a Zona Zoo pass.
Okay, and another question. Are any of you guys coming from out of state? If so, how it's transitioned to the university? Any of us? Stop, no. No, I'm sorry. We're all from different parts of Arizona, but I mean, I can't tell you about the transition from coming from a completely different state. Obviously, we can talk about kind of the transition of coming from living at home for so long, you know, with parents and siblings and things, and then, you know, basically being on your own. It's a pretty big transition. Obviously, there's, you know, a lot of things that change within, you know, just a matter of, you know, you come in on move-in day, and then you say goodbye to your parents and things, and then all of a sudden it kind of just hits you like you're here, you know. So it is a big transition, but I think it's totally worth it. I don't know what you guys.
Also, I think that's where living in the dorms is nice, because you're going through it all together. Because a lot of people go through that, where like the first few weeks, I know that people that weren't from here kind of miss home a little bit, but you make friends by like all kind of having that, going through the same thing. So I think that's a nice experience to have.
Right. Yeah.
And there's definitely, it just so happened that it's 5 of us who are all females and all from Arizona. We're not really representative of the whole University of Arizona student population. So there are a lot of out-of-state students. There's a lot of international students. So it's really cool having that mix of all different perspectives. So, you know, you're definitely not alone if you're not from Arizona. I would absolutely love it here. I have a lot of friends from out of state, and they also, you know, are having a great time here. So it's a really great option no matter where you're from.
Okay, next question. Is there anything you do not like or would like to change about the U of A in your experience there? Does anybody have anything? I mean, I can't really think of an experience or anything that I dislike so much that I would need to go back and, you know, change it. Obviously, everyone, you know, has obstacles. You know, you're here at school, and it's, you know, rigorous, and you have tests, and you have papers, and you have all of this different stuff, and you're basically your own time manager, and there's no one who's going to tell you that you need to get up and go to your 8 a.m. class, even though the teacher doesn't take attendance. And, you know, there's, you know, no one to wake you up when you fall back asleep and wake up at 7:58 when you have an 8 o'clock final, and that's a true story that happened to me. And it was freshman year, first semester, and it was scary. But, you know, so you have different challenges, and you have, you know, days when you just want to, you know, hang out and curl up and not have to do anything, but that's just how everything is. I feel like, and no matter what school you go to, that's going to be something.
I think also, like, for me, so one thing I had a really big regret about is that freshman year I didn't really get involved in clubs, and I think I would have enjoyed my time even more had I done that. So I kind of felt like with U of A, there wasn't anything I would change about U of A. I would change, if I could go back, I would change the way I, like, experienced U of A. I think U of A has many, many options, and it's what you make it.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I would definitely say, I think it was on a t-shirt or something, I'm not that original, but I think it says just like, college is what you make of it, and I think that's absolutely true, and I think, kind of as Claire was saying, the U of A is a really big university, and it's full of different opportunities, and, you know, it's up to you to kind of go grab those opportunities, you know, and it can be a little intimidating sometimes and a little overwhelming, but there's so many different things, and, you know, it's all about kind of, you know, bearing down and making the most of your college experience, and there's so many great resources and groups on campus, and it's definitely possible, and so many people I know just love it here and don't want to leave. So maybe our regret is that they kick us out eventually.
Yeah,
graduate. The fact that we have to go into the real world and not the U of A campus.
Okay, we have another question. Hi, Mason for the last time. Thank you guys. This is awesome. You're welcome. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Obviously, I'm not going to ask for numbers or anything because that would be creepy. But you're going to be able to answer questions way better than, considering your students. Are you allowed to give out emails just for question purposes? If not, that's fine. Are we allowed to?
You know, the really cool thing about the admissions email is that the admissions email is answered by actual students. The student recruiters were in charge of answering those emails that do come to our admissions email. So our admissions email is on our website. I don't really remember it. It should probably be somewhere. I should probably remember that.
No, I don't. Is it over there?
No, that's not the admission email.
I know for sure that if you go onto our website,
Right.
you can, on our contact information, you can find our admissions email, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you have. It can be anything as silly as, like, when does Harry Potter Club meet, to anything as serious as what are the requirements for my major. If we don't know the answer, we'll find somebody who does, and we'll refer it to that person. Or it can be anything. I mean, you can ask us pretty much anything about how our experiences are, and you'll have somebody who will answer back to you who's an actual student. So that's a pretty cool thing too.
Also, if you do an overnight stay with the Honors College, one nice thing is that, first of all, you get to like stay in the dorm for a night, so you get to experience that. But also, usually the person you stay with will write you a letter saying like, hey, I was really excited to meet you. And they'll usually like, they give you the opportunity to maybe say like, hey, find me on Facebook or something if you have any questions. I'm totally here. And other people, I've never hosted somebody, but I definitely, when I go to those things, would never mind giving out an email to somebody and saying, hey, if you ever have questions, let me know.
Yeah, and as they were saying, definitely the different admissions staff are great. So, like, the Honors College admissions staff are really helpful. If you have any questions, if they can't answer it, they will definitely find someone who can answer it. And, so definitely just take advantage of the great staff that we have here at the U of A. The different colleges you're looking into, whether it be engineering or humanities, they're all really helpful, and they all really want to help you guys find why U of A is right for you. So don't be afraid to ask questions. That's kind of, I would say, my lesson from applying to college is ask questions.
That's like an epiphany.
So we also have a telephone service that we offer. So if you have any sort of questions, you can call us too, and they're answered by students. I think their phone number is 520-621-3237. I think I memorized it. Yes, that is probably what it is. And that is our admissions office phone number, and whoever answers, those are all students. So if you have any more questions, I mean, you can feel free to call one of our students, and they'll be able to answer that. Once again, the number is 520-621-3237, just in case.
Like an infomercial. Okay, we have like 5 minutes. So do you want us to talk about something else? There's no more questions. There's no more questions. There's no more questions. Oh no, I think that was myself. I'm sorry. No.
Maybe like why, like if you could sum up in like one sentence why you chose U of A, or like why you are glad you did.
Okay. So I'm really glad that I chose the U of A. Just like I talked about earlier, the new academic opportunities that U of A, is in the forefront of, and it's not just, law is just what I'm interested in. So that's, thankfully for me, that's also something that U of A is stepping up and taking the initiative on and everything. But it's with all different majors and all programs. I know we're one of the largest research, science research schools. Obviously, we have an amazing program with the U of A medical school that we have right on campus, and everything. And so just the amount of opportunities that I've academically been able to receive, as well as socially, and the friends I've made and everything like that. It's a huge campus and it's a huge school, and yet somehow manages to be a tight-knit community. So it's really great, and I feel like you don't get a lot of opportunities like that at other places.
Well, I was in a pretty different situation. Originally, I didn't want to come to the U of A, so that says a lot in and of itself. Originally, I had wanted to go somewhere out of state. I wanted to go somewhere in California probably, but I chose to come to the U of A. Ultimately, obviously, that's why I'm here. And looking back at it now, I am really thankful that I did. I was able to meet some of the most incredible people here at the U of A. I've made friends with people who I never thought I would make friends with. I'm even friends with some of my professors, after you're done taking your classes. You even keep in touch with people that you never thought. And I think the greatest thing about the U of A that I have found here, and especially when I talk to different people in different colleges around the nation, is value. The U of A brings value. The U of A adds a lot of value into my life and into the life, I'm sure, of many of them. And that's something that you don't find so easily. And obviously it is something that you create yourself, but the U of A gives you so many opportunities, and it tosses things at you to add that value to your life and to your experience. So definitely value is a quality that you can't just, buy. You can't learn it. It's something that comes out of doing something and living that experience, and that's what the U of A has brought to me. So.
Is there any question?
Yeah, it's a question. Sorry, one last question. From a student studying law, is it easy to get an internship? I mean, it depends on what you mean by easy. Are there ample opportunities? Yes. There's ample opportunities not only, through obviously the U of A, and in the Science of Government and Public Policy through their website. There's internship opportunities. I actually found out about my student recruiter job and applied for it and everything through an email that was sent to me by my major, and stuff. And there's obviously law firms all around in Tucson. There's one 10 steps from my apartment complex that has those kind of opportunities too. So while obviously, it includes the typical resume, process and things like that, I'm not going to say it's, completely easy. You have to, apply for them, and it's a competitive. All internships, especially for college students, are super competitive, but you have ample opportunities.
The U of A also hosts several college fairs. So we get several career fairs. Sorry. Several career fairs. So there's a bunch of different corporations that come in, and there's a lot of opportunities for internships there. You take your resume, dress professionally, and that's a really good thing that the U of A offers.
Yeah, I would say that's how I got my internship that I had this past summer. They were here at the career fair last fall. I just went and talked to them, interviewed on campus, got offered a job for the summer, which was awesome. And I know in terms of engineering students, the majority of them have some sort of internship over the summer. So the U of A is really great about supporting that for students. So I think we're about out of time right now.
Yeah, no, I think it says we have 3 more minutes.
3 more
minutes? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'm an engineering major, so clearly I'm bad with numbers.
Do we want to kind of pick off where we left off about
Sure. So
why you're glad you chose U of A?
Originally, when I started applying to colleges my senior year, I wanted to go to a school in California. And then when that ended up being a little bit too complicated, I was considering ASU versus U of A. And even comparing that school to California to U of A and ASU, I'm so glad I picked U of A. just because of the size and the number of opportunities that I have here. And I don't know, there's just something that fits like all the different aspects of my life. Especially with U of A versus ASU, having a medical campus really nearby, I found has been really helpful because I've done some work with med students, like talked to some professors, and like been able to sit on like some medical school lectures, which I think is really fun. And also just sort of the vibe of Tucson. I think there's a lot of unique opportunities here that there aren't in other places.
Yeah, I love U of A just because I really like the community based. I love that way more than the ASU several different campuses view. And one thing I really love about U of A is just the number of opportunities in every way. Yeah, there's law internships. There's also Eller who helps you out with, business internships. And we have research everywhere here. There are opportunities. Basically, whatever you have interest in, there's probably something here to find. And I love that. I love the effort that U of A really puts into trying to find a place where you can fit.
Yeah, so I would say, I will keep mine kind of shorter. The 3 things that I was looking for when I was looking for a college was I wanted research experiences, I wanted professors who were genuinely interested in teaching their students and were passionate about what they do, and I wanted to be in an environment with other students with that, valued academics, and it was an intellectually stimulating environment. And I can say that, honestly, I found those 3 things here, and I couldn't be happier. So, I would say just, think about what really matters to you when it comes to what you want in a college, and I can almost guarantee it that you'll find it at U of A. So, thanks.
Okay, yeah. Thank you guys. I hope we were helpful, and we really appreciate all of your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.